Hi, welcome to today's video. My name is Rayamido and I'm a software engineer from Nairobi, Kenya. Today we want to talk about how to set up an e-commerce store that has Mpesa integration. And whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or you're a business owner or you're someone that is curious about starting an online shop, you are in the right place. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the ways that you can be able to set up your store, and then we'll actually try to set up a store together from setting up the buying the domain name, hosting space, and setting up the system, adding some products, testing it out, and at least completing a purchase from start to finish. So in terms of cost implications, so if you're going to follow this video to the end, then you might need to set up a small budget like $50 or less to be able to purchase a domain name and hosting space if you don't already have that. But if you do already have that, then you can just follow along. Number two, you will also need, since this video is dedicated to both e-commerce store setting up and Mpesa payment, you will need to have an account with Paystack. We are choosing Paystack as our payment provider. Otherwise, you would need to do the integration yourself from the start, which is another topic entirely. So if you're going to use Paystack like me, then you can pause the video at some point and go create an account. Then you can come back so that you can proceed. Otherwise, for now, let us continue with the video. Let's start by looking at some of the ways that you can set up an online store. So there are several ways actually, and the first way is to use an e-commerce platform. So there are several systems that are already built that you can use to set up your e-commerce store. Some of them are hosted online, others you need to host on your own, but they all just provide the same functionality, which is to set up products and to allow people to be able to purchase your products. The first platform is Shopify. So Shopify is an web-based e-commerce platform. It's fully hosted online, and meaning that your store will be stored on Shopify's servers. So to use it, you need to create an account at Shopify. Then you'll be paying a monthly subscription fee to be able to access the service. So it has tiered subscription plans. So the more resources you need, the more functionality you need, the more you pay. The other platform that we can talk about is WordPress and WooCommerce. So WordPress is a self-hosted website builder platform. So you can use it to build whatever website you need, whether it's a blogging website, whether it's a personal website, or any kind of website that you need to build, you can use WordPress to build that. So in order to customize it or to tailor it to providing e-commerce functionality, you need to add an extension, and in WordPress those are called plugins. So the most popular one is WooCommerce, which is free. You can be able to download freely from WordPress. So in order to use WordPress, you will need, number one, to buy a domain name and hosting space. Then you need to design your website somehow. So you can either do it yourself, you can hire a professional to help you. You can then, after doing your website, you need to add e-commerce functionality with WooCommerce, and then you need to add payments, and then you can start selling. The other platform is BigCommerce. BigCommerce is similar to Shopify. We also have Wix. Wix is similar to WordPress, but it's hosted online. So you pay a subscription fee to be able to use it on Wix servers. So those are the top ones that I have used myself. There are many other services that you can use. So feel free to use whichever, but for this, you're going to focus on WordPress. Aside from using pre-built systems, you can also build custom systems. So a custom system is where you build it yourself or hire a developer to build a thing from the ground up. They use maybe a web framework to be able to build everything. You can also use open source systems that are already built. So you just download it and then you customize it to your needs. So we have platforms like Magento and OpenCart. So you can also try those. So in a nutshell, how do you go about choosing which specific platform is the best? So custom building is more suitable for businesses with unique requirements or specific branding needs. And if all you need to sell online, then an e-commerce platform that's already built is the best option by far, because number one, you pay less. You don't need to invest a lot of money into a developer. You also don't need to spend a lot of time building things from the ground up, because they are all those features are already pre-built into some of these platforms. So which e-commerce platform should you choose if you're going to do an e-commerce platform instead of building from the ground up? So if you're just starting out, you don't want to commit to paying a monthly fee, then you could go with WordPress, which is the best option in this case. The problem with paid services is that not only are you going to pay for the service itself, you also might find yourself racking up costs in terms of additional plugins that you need for features like payment and so forth. So some of those plugins are not free, so you might find that you are paying for a couple of things in order to add functionality to your website. So not only is WordPress free to use, it also has a large repository of free plugins that you can safely use to set up things like payments on your website without incurring any additional costs, aside from, as I said, the hosting and domain name purchase, which you will need to renew maybe yearly or monthly according to the payment plan that you select. Now, as you may have already figured out, we have narrowed down in this video to WordPress. So we are going to see how to set up an e-commerce store with WordPress. So the first question you might be asking yourself is, do you need any coding knowledge? And my answer is no. WordPress can be used by both coders and non-coders alike. If you are a non-coder, WordPress has everything you need to use drag and drop option to be able to set up your store. For coders, you have even a bigger advantage because you understand how things work under the hood. You can also be able to customize it in ways that a non-coder would not be able to customize it. So what are the steps in setting up a WordPress store? So number one, you need to acquire a domain name and hosting space. So a domain name is just the address, the name of your website, which directs your customers to where their website is hosted, and hosting space is computer space that is available online 24/7 that you can rent, and you pay either monthly or yearly in order for your website to be available online 24/7. So there are companies that specialize in providing these kinds of services, so you just pay them a little fee and then they provide those particular services. So we are going to mention some of the hosting and domain name providers that I've used myself, I've interacted with, or that I know of. So now let's talk about hosting and domain name providers that I know. I'll describe some of them and then you can be able to choose whichever you want. So the ones that I have used myself, number one is GoDaddy. And then we have Namecheap, we have Hostinger, we have Kenya Web Experts, and TrueHost. So if you are from Kenya, you can choose Kenya Web Experts or TrueHost, whichever you like. For me, those are just my personal favorites, but you can choose whichever other provider you prefer. If you are from another country, then GoDaddy, Namecheap, Hostinger, those are fine. You can try those ones out. My personal favorites from these ones is Namecheap because they have excellent customer service. Whenever I'm stuck, I'm able to just reach out to them via live chat on their website, and they respond very quickly. Sometimes when I run into problems setting up things on my website, they are able to help me diagnose and find out where the problem is and provide recommendations, or sometimes even fix the issues for me. So that's why I like Namecheap. You can find the links to all these providers in the description so that you can choose whichever you want. But for this video, we are going to go with Namecheap. So we will purchase a domain name from Namecheap, and then we will also be able to purchase the hosting space from Namecheap. All right, so which hosting plan should you choose? So when you go to those particular websites, you'll find that there are several hosting plans. So my rule of thumb is usually to just choose whichever is the cheapest as you're starting out, and then when your website starts to grow, you can now scale as you require. So you don't want to buy a lot of expensive resources that you are not going to use. So when you're starting out, use the easiest one, set up, test your system, and then later on you can be able to acquire more resources as your website scales. So there are two types of hosting space. One is shared hosting, and then there's another one that's called virtual private server, and then there is a dedicated server. So a dedicated server is where you have the entire computer to yourself. Your website is the only website that is sitting on that particular computer. And then we have virtual private server, where they use software to subdivide a computer into several subsystems. It's like a virtual private server, only that it shares some resources with the same computer. So you could have several virtual private servers on the same computer. A dedicated server is where you just have the entire computer to yourself. And then you have shared hosting. So this is where several websites are stored on different folders on the same machine. So shared hosting is still fine. These providers have specific ways that they partition those particular resources so that you can have your own database, your own hosting space and everything for your own account, and nobody else can be able to access that apart from you, the client that has paid for that. These resources are good enough until you absolutely need to upgrade. So you can start with the cheapest and then you can upgrade slowly as your website starts to demand more resources. So enough talking, let's get into building. So we are going to start with buying the domain name from Namecheap. So you can look in the description for the Namecheap link and click on it. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing you want to do is to grab the link in the description, the link to Namecheap. It will bring you to the Namecheap website where you can be able to view different options, but for now we just want to go to domains. So the best way to work on this is just to go to the menu item written domains, and then you go to the domain name search. Right, so if you scroll down, you'll be able to see this search box where you can be able to search for your specific domain name, and here you will type in a unique name for your website. So for example, let me say mine would be something like ke.com. You can type in any name. It will tell you whether the name is available or not. So if you search here, just give it a minute and then it will give you back the results. So in the results here, you can be able to see, like, you have the prices here. So right now they're giving it to you for $11 for the first year. So it will be, you'll pay $11 now, and then the next time you're paying any other amount is next year. But what this means is, for the retail price, that means that you'll be renewing it at $14.98 every subsequent year from next year time like this. So next year, next time you pay, you'll be paying $14.98 unless the price is reviewed. That's what you'll pay. However, before you proceed to buy, you can also make sure that you copy this promo code. You copy it somewhere because it will help you to reduce the price when you read the checkout page. So remember that to copy this code somewhere, and then you can add this to cart. If your domain is not available, just go back to this domain name search and search for another one until you find something that's available. Now, before you proceed to checkout, you can also go to the hosting page and you go to shared hosting, and you scroll down, you pick the cheapest. So the cheapest here is Stellar, and you can see it says it retails for $48.88 per year, but for now they're going to give you at less 56% for the first year. So you'll pay now $22.88, but next year at a time like this you'll pay $48.88 per year. So it might sound like a lot of money, but like, for example, for me, for my hosting, I usually pay close to this per month because I have a very big website. So this is actually a very good deal. If you're just setting up your e-commerce store, it's actually, you pay this amount plus the domain name amount, which we are going to see cumulative. So we can just click on get started. This, now you'll be able to set up to 3 websites. You'll have 20 GB storage disk and 30 emails. If you pay for these other ones, you have unlimited websites, unmetered storage disk, and you also have, the prices go, you can be able to buy as much as you want, but for now, initially, it's usually recommended that you pick the lowest, and then you can always expand as your website grows. So let's proceed and get started now. So you will be taken to the configuration page where you are requested to add more items. So you already had the domain name, so they're asking you where you need to connect your domain. You will just say you're connecting to a new domain, and if you already have a domain name, then you can click on existing domain name, but you will need to point that domain to Namecheap, to this particular hosting. But if everything is new, then you're good to go. Namecheap is going to configure everything for you. So the new domain already in cart, and the one that is already in cart will be highlighted here. So if you scroll down, you will find that your total cost for this year is this $36. So this is what you're going to pay with your card. So you add to cart. Now your total cart amount is this. So remember, next year you'll be paying this. So if you want to know what you'll pay next year, you just do 48. You can go to 48 plus 14. So that was 14. So this is the total amount you pay next year. That will be $63.86 at a time like this next year. In my promo code box, then you will need to log in, but this will be able to reduce your amount by around $6, the amount that they have indicated here, $6.49. So please proceed to use this. If they are requesting that you log in, you can just log in. If you don't have an account, please create a free account. Then you use this promo code to reduce your price even further. So this will be good if you just planning to experiment, and you can be able to do that at a very reduced price. Then next year you will see if your business will have picked up, you can renew it. If not, you can just leave it. So once you have completed all this, Namecheap is going to send you some information in your inbox, and that information, the first email will be maybe to confirm your details in order to prevent, online scamming and things like that. They always request you to verify your details. You just click on that link that they've sent to you. Then you'll be able to verify your details. Otherwise, your domain name will be taken down until you click on this. Once you're done with that, there will also be another email that looks something like this. There will be a link and a password. So once you click on that, you'll be taken to the hosting account. All right, now once you log in using the details that you've received in your email address, you can now see there's a lot of tools that you can use here. For now, we are only interested in WordPress, so we'll use the Softaculous Apps Installer. So this is going to enable us to install WordPress on our website. So just proceed and click that. And then once you have that, you can select WordPress. As you can see, there are very many different options here. You can be able to install any kind of website, but for now we just want WordPress. So you click on install, and then you'll be brought to the configuration screen where you will select a domain name. If you have more than one, all will be listed here. Then you can be able to select one. For the directory, you can just leave it empty. You can either click on quick install to do a quick install, but if you want to do any further configuration, you can maybe set up a few more things. So you can have an admin username, make sure that maybe it's your name or something simple that you can remember, put in a password and an email, and make sure that all these things are valid. So if it's an email address, you should be able to you should use something that you can be able to recall, to remember. Also, setting up site name and a site description. This will be found in Google when somebody searches for your website. And like I said, very important, make sure that the username is simple enough that you can remember, note it down, and the password also. And the email should be valid so that when there's something, maybe you need to reset a password or anything, you can use that particular email that you provided here to receive a new password or any setup instructions or anything related to your website. So make sure it's a valid email address. As for the plugins, this just extend the functionality. We don't need all of them. We will just stick to one, which is limit login. Yeah, so this will just help us to like throttle login attempts in case somebody is trying to brute force into our website. It will block their attempts after maybe 3 times trying. Please double check everything to make sure everything is fine. Once you're certain that you're good, then you can provide an installation email and click on install. So once it finishes to install, the installation instructions will be sent to your email. Once you complete, you can go to your website.com/wp-admin. So this is where you will provide the username or email address and the password that you set up in the previous step, what you set up here. And so I'll just provide mine and quickly log in. All right, so once you log in, you'll be taken to your administration dashboard. So here is where you will be doing everything from now henceforth. So the Namecheap client login, you'll only need it when you're setting up the website, maybe for the first time, or maybe next year when you need to renew your hosting. Otherwise, everything you'll be doing from here, setting up your shop, the plugins, the payments, adding products, everything will happen from this particular screen. So you don't need to worry about all the other things that they send to you until next year. So they'll be able to send you an email once the domain is about to expire, and you renew it if you choose to. But for now, everything else you'll be doing it from within WordPress admin. So you will be your admin. If you want to see your website, you can click on visit site, and this will open your website sort of customer facing side. So here is where we are going to create everything, and so the customer will be seeing the other side, and for us we will be seeing this administration dashboard. So the first thing you want to do is to just add a theme. So the theme is like the website that the client will see. So in WordPress, themes are usually pre-built. Unless you have the skills to build your own, you can just add something that has already been built by someone else, and then you just customize it to your own needs. So for us, we are going to select an e-commerce theme. You can select whichever is there, but I usually recommend that you pick a very simple one. Because if you pick a very complex one, it will be very difficult to customize, especially if it's your first time doing this. So I recommend that you look for a very simple theme. I can recommend something, but just make sure that you keep it very, very simple. If you make it complex, you reach a point where it will be hard to manage, and you'd have to delete the entire website and start again. which WordPress allows you to do, so you can always redo it. But for now, let's just search for a very simple theme that I like to recommend. So it's called Storefront. So this is built by the WooCommerce team. So it integrates with WooCommerce really well. So you can just search for it in WordPress and then install it. Once it finishes installing, make sure that you activate it. And once you activate it, you can now refresh your front facing website, and you can see that it has changed. So for now, it doesn't have any products, it doesn't have anything, so we are going to try to customize it. But let's just see the pages that we have. We only have 2 pages, so we could probably create an extra page. Alright, so we want to set up a new page. I'm actually using my student's website for this demonstration. So we want to add a new homepage for our website, so that we'll have like a custom front. The one we saw it was very simple, so we just want to create a new page. We'll call it home. And we will select a template. So this theme comes with several templates, so we'll just pick the homepage template. And then we can publish this. So once you publish, your changes will reflect on the website. So we can click on view page, or we can open it in a new tab, and you can see the homepage looks like this. So we can actually be able to customize it further. We can also just go to make it the default homepage. As you can see, we still have the original default homepage. So in order to change this, we need to go to the customizer. And then go to homepage settings and select static page, and then select the page that we created, and then publish the changes. Now, if we refresh this, we will see that the new homepage that we created has now become the default homepage. And if we go to edit, we can be able to change the structure of the homepage. We can add content, we can add many different things to it. Yeah, so for example, let's try to add maybe a content block, an image. You can just upload an image from your computer. It can be any image. Just make sure that it's not too heavy, because it will lead to a bad user experience when your users are trying to use it. So you can save that and refresh your homepage. And as you can see, our image has reflected. So you can create a very nice image and add it there. There are very many different things that you can also add. So just make sure that you play around with the settings and see how you can adjust it. Let's try to add a different type of a block. So you can just click on the new block and then select something new. Let's search for cover, because we want to add a cover image with some text on it. And you can scroll to select whichever cover you want, or you can just click on cover and then upload an image, and then you can edit the text. Then you save it and refresh your homepage to see the new changes. As you can see, a new cover image has been added. So there are so many types of blocks that you can add, you can play around with. So what you're going to do is just to remove everything, then create a as a cover, then customize it a little bit, and then leave it at that. So we will delete both blocks, and then we create a new block. Again, we will search for cover. We can also browse all to see whichever we like. Or we can just create a new custom one. Then we select the image upload, and then put in our text. Can then proceed to customize it a little bit. Just highlight that and go to block on the right side menu and text, and select a color for your text. For me, I'll select black. And you can see now the text is visible. Then you can add more options if you want, if you need to, but for now I'll just save it as it is. Then we can view the page. And as you can see, we have now our cover image has black text. Yeah, so this is how you do basic editing. So since this video was supposed to be just focused on payments, we will leave it at that so that we can proceed to start on payment integration. Now, you can see we have our home page here, and now it's set as the front page since we selected the template as the home page. And since we selected it as the front page in the customizer, if you remember. And now we want to go and install the plugins. Want to start by installing a new plugin called WooCommerce. So you just go to plugins, new plugin, then you search for WooCommerce. I just wait for it to pop up. Then once you see it, you can install. Give it a minute to install. Then once it's installed, you can proceed to activate it. So as soon as you click on activate, it's going to activate and bring you back to the setup wizard. So here's where now you set up your store. You will just this is just configuring things like addresses and payments. So just click through, set up your store name. You can call it like your name, your business name, and then you select the category, and then you select your location. Then you put in your own email address. Make sure that's a valid email so that you can be sent notifications on this email. Then here you can see a bunch of optional plugins. So we can just skip this by unchecking each of them before we continue. You can leave them if you want, but for now, let's just uncheck them so that they don't clutter our dashboard and cause so much confusion. Once you finish, now it will bring you to this page where you can now start customizing things and adding products. So the first step was to customize our store. As you saw, we already completed that. So we'll just go back and start adding products. So you click on add product. You can click on physical product if you're selling things from a store. And here's now where you will be creating products. So you can put the product name, and then you put a product description. So make sure that you write a very good description for your product. If you don't know how to come up with a product name, a good product name, you can use AI tools to generate a product description. Let me just try to grab a prompt from here. So if you don't have the time to work on this or to do the descriptions, you can just prompt AI to do it for you. Then you can paste it in the description box. You can format it a little bit. For me, I just leave it as is for now because of time. So this is good. Then you can scroll down to now adding product data. You can start with pricing. So regular price is if, for example, you want to show two different prices. One is the higher price and the sell price is the price at which the product will be sold. So you will see how it's going to appear. So then you can add a product short description, just a high-level overview, a quick description. This will also show up in Google. So the short description is like the initial description they see when they're browsing the product. But then if you want to do a more detailed description, as you can see, you put it up there in this text box, okay, in the product description text box. So once you do that, you can select product images. You can take your own photos and upload them. Also, just make sure that you don't upload very huge images because they're going to slow down your website. Just make sure that you find reasonable images, roughly 200 KB and below. You can use online tools to try and reduce the image sizes, or if you have a copy of image editing software, you can also just make sure that you reduce them so that they're not very large images. Once you get a product image, you can click on button to upload. Then you can set the product image. All right, so this is what will show up on your website as the main product image. You can also add other images as product gallery images. Then you can set also categories. This makes it very easy for your customers to navigate your website. Fine. So you can have as many categories as you want, like laptops and whatever other thing you're selling. Then you just double check to make sure everything is okay. Then you can publish a product to your website. So once you publish it, you can click on the link that has been generated for you to view the product. All right. As you can see, the sale price has been stricken through, and the regular price is what is showing us the current price. So this is what the product is going to be selling at. And you can see your product description. The longer description is down here. So that's basically how this is. It's, as you can see, it's starting to take shape, even with the simple theme that we selected. Yeah, it's looking good. Now we can go back to our dashboard and try to set up other WooCommerce settings like addresses and payments. Right, so you can set up your addresses. This is maybe where your shop is located. Just put in some random things here. Then sell to specific countries if you just want to sell to Kenya or whichever country you're in. Shipping also, you can select ship to Kenya or whatever you want. You can also add tax if you want. These are the things you can be able to do later. At least once you add your address, that's fine. That's good enough for starters. You can also go to payments and see what payment options you have. So right now you only have these three. So we don't have Mpesa payment right now, so that's what we are going to try and add. So you can look for the Paystack WordPress WooCommerce payment gateway. So the plugin, you can see the plugin is here, and this is the official plugin. So you can just search for that in plugins. So just go back to the website dashboard and go to plugins again. Then add a new plugin and search for that name. All right, it's going to bring you the Paystack WooCommerce payment gateway. Then you install and activate it. Once you activate it, it will bring you to the list of plugins. You look for the plugin that we just installed. It's right here. Then you go to settings, so that we can now link it to the account that we can link it to our Paystack account, right? So let's go to settings, and here now, as you can see, it's bringing us to the Paystack payments settings. So we want to enable test mode and then select pop-up so that all the payment happens within our website without redirecting to Paystack. If you want it to redirect to Paystack, still fine, it doesn't hurt. But if you want it to pop up within our website, then you can do that. Now it's requesting for a test key and test secret key and test public key. So these ones, you are going to get them from your Paystack account. So if you haven't created a Paystack account yet, make sure that you create a Paystack account. You can even pause the video and create one. It's free to set up. You'll just be asked to if you have a company, you'll provide company information. Then they'll do a little bit of verification. Then they will be able to activate your account. So I'm going to use the credentials from my company, one of my companies. So I had set up a payment integration for one of my companies. So I'll just use that account as an example in this course, but then make sure that you also create your own account, and then so that you can be able to use your credentials and your Paystack credentials within WooCommerce. Right, so let me just open this other window so that we can grab our keys. So you go to settings, and then you can go to API keys and webhooks. So you'll have your production live keys, and then you'll have your test keys. So grab the test secret key. You'd have to toggle the view icon so that you can be able to copy it. You can paste it, and then also grab your public key and paste it. Then you can check the rest of the options. If you want the order to be auto-completed once payment is done, you can do so. And these are the options. We can just leave them. Maybe we check that one and then we leave it. Right, so our Paystack integration is ready. We can now go to our website and try to buy the iPhone. Just add the iPhone to cart, and then we can go to view cart so that we can proceed to checkout. Then in the checkout page, we need to provide our details. So this is what your customers will go through when they are making payment. So you'd have to provide the shipping information. And you can place the order. Once you place the order, the payment pop-up will now show up. Since this is in test mode, you can proceed to pay. Then Paystack will do a sandbox test transaction so that you don't have to actually do a transaction. Then once it's done, it's going to refresh the page, and it will say that the order has been received. So it's that simple. You've been able to make a payment on your website. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward, rather than as opposed to doing the integration yourself from scratch, which is usually very hectic. You'd have to take care of all those processes on your own. When the amount is processed, then it has to hit your website so that you can process it. So as you can see, WooCommerce also gives the customer a dashboard where they can see their orders and a lot of information. There's so many things. They can go to the shop and view more products if you have more products. So everything is already done on your behalf. And if you come to the homepage, you can see that as you add products, you can see that they are also added to your homepage in different places. You can be able to customize this as you want. When you have time, you just explore your dashboard and find out how to customize this storefront theme to make it more spicy. But for now, you can see it's starting to take good shape. So you can continue to play around with it and see what other options you can enhance. All right, so once you are finished, you can now take your WooCommerce live. So you can see it's saying coming soon. Then you can toggle to live. That is in the site visibility. Now WooCommerce is live. So everything you do is now live. So in addition to taking WooCommerce live, you also want to take Paystack live. And this can be done by just replacing your you can go back to plugins, and then we go back to settings, WooCommerce settings. Now you can grab your production credentials and add them here. You can also uncheck the test mode option, and so you'll find your production or live keys in the same place where you found your test keys, as we saw earlier. So just grab the live keys and paste them in those boxes. So then you uncheck the test mode, and your store now will do live transactions. So if you try and buy something, you can maybe put a little, or you can create a product with a smaller amount, and it's going to you try and complete the process from your you try to pay. The money will go to Paystack, and then it will be available to you maybe in, like, they usually say 2 days. They have to take some time to process the transactions, so maybe after 2 days you'll have access to your monies, which you can withdraw from Paystack and into your either bank or I think it is bank. Right, so I hope this video was useful to you. See you in the next one.